Developing story now. Thousands of folks are gathering on Browns Island for the first ever Dominion River Rock. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton shows us what it's all about.
There's dog diving, skilled biking, free music, and a muddy mess. All of it part of Dominion River Rock on Browns Island, a free celebration of Richmond's active river life.
As you see, she loves to jump.
Jan Dalby brought her dog Tarragon to compete in the Ultimate Air Dogs competition. Across the park, free rider bikers show off their skills, jumping in the air and doing flips. One of the highlights of River Rock was a 5K filthy muddy fun run. Runners ran across the James River, then everything came to an end here in this big vat of mud, and it feels kind of nice.
It was fun. I've never done a race like this before.
Hundreds of racers ran the course, some to compete.
I like being able to come to a finish and see all the people cheering and hanging out.
Others just to get dirty.
They had a few obstacles to twist us up, but it was pretty intense.
Winners from the race were awarded tonight. Qualifying matches for the Ultimate Air Dogs and Freestyle Bikers continue tomorrow morning, with the finalists squaring off in the afternoon. Cleaning myself off at Browns Island, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Welcome back. Recently, 16 Henrico Middle School students were arrested for allegedly distributing and possessing the prescription drug Adderall. Since then, drug abuse among teenagers has been a hot topic. Tonight, in an 8 News investigation, Nate Eaton exposes how serious the problem really is.
Jimmy had $1 million smile.
One look at these photos and you see your average teenager.
Very full of life.
A 17-year-old who loves skateboarding, horses, and hanging out with friends.
They were getting ready to go to the prom.
But behind this smile lies a tragic secret.
This was the last picture that we had taken of him.
One that Jimmy Wright's mother didn't know about until the day she buried her only son.
My son died on May the 31st, 2001.
It was at Jimmy's funeral when a crying girl told Anna Rice Wright to go home and look for an Altoid box.
We found this in one of his blue jean pant pocket, and inside the Altoid box was all the pills, which had about 30 or 40 pills in it.
Did you know what any of them were?
No.
Among the mix, sleeping pills, antidepressants, even medication for horses, all of them obtained through pill swapping.
It's a huge problem and a growing problem.
In addition to pill swapping, one other trend that is growing here in Richmond is something called farm parties. It's when teenagers mix up prescription drugs, then take them by the handful as if it were a bunch of candy.
Nobody knows what they are when they get to these parties. They have no clue what they're putting in their mouth.
To see how common pill swapping and farm parties are in our area, we asked local high schoolers.
When I went to this party this one time, I saw a bunch of kids passing out a ton of pills.
What they had to say shocked us.
I took a handful of pills.
Tonight at 11, see their surprising answers. Plus,
he walks over and wraps his arms around me and said, "God, Mom, I love you."
The tragic ending of a teenager's life because of prescription drug abuse.
He turned around and walked off, not realizing that would be the last time I would ever have a conversation with him.
And be sure to watch 8 News at 11 tonight for part 2 of Nate's report. Time.
Farm parties have become a growing trend for teenagers across the country. In part 2 of an 8 News investigation, Nate Eaton shows us how prescription drug abuse dramatically changed a local family.
It's called pill swapping.
I saw a bunch of kids passing out a ton of pills.
And almost every teenager we spoke with,
a different way to get high,
knows exactly what it is.
I know that kids take prescription drugs and they'll put them in one big mix and basically just take a handful.
This teenager has tried it himself.
I took a handful of pills and gave this kid like $100.
Do you think the parents are aware of what's going on?
I don't think parents know at all.
Because of that, Anna Rice Wright is raising her voice.
It's a huge problem.
Her 17-year-old son Jimmy died 8 years ago this month.
The kids were at that time doing something called pill swapping, and that's where he actually got access to the pills that he had when he passed away.
Anna will never forget the night Jimmy died. They just finished watching TV and he was about to go to his room.
He walks over and wraps his arms around me and said, "God, Mom, I love you." He turned around and walked off, not realizing that would be the last time I would ever have a conversation with him.
20 minutes later, after dozing off on the couch, Anna was awakened by the sound of a gunshot. Jimmy had shot himself with a pistol a friend had given him.
I honestly think Jimmy was high. I think that he didn't realize what he had taken that night.
Days later at his funeral, Anna learned Jimmy had a prescription drug problem when one of his friends told her to go home and find an Altoid box. In that box was 40 pills.
Jimmy died that night with a loaded gun. There's no difference with him mixing these pills. It's a loaded gun. It's waiting to happen.
Now, left with pictures and memories, Anna has a message for every parent watching.
The key is that don't live in denial.
Her plea is that you realize this could happen to your child, and she hopes Jimmy's life and death will serve as a lesson to everyone.
Jimmy's still around me every second of every minute of every day.
I'm Nate Eaton reporting for 8 News.
A man hit by a tree limb on Monument Avenue is recovering from his injuries, and another tree limb destroyed 2 cars here on the 5,000 block of King William Road. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton has more.
Looking at this Honda Civic and this Toyota Highlander over here, you'd probably think both vehicles were involved in a pretty serious accident, but it was actually a huge tree limb that came crashing down onto the cars. And believe it or not, this isn't the first time something like this has happened here.
We thought, maybe somebody trying to kick in the front door.
When Michael Schwartz heard a loud snap and crash last night, he didn't think he'd see this when he walked outside.
A huge branch had come down.
That huge branch fell from this big old tree, smashing these 2 vehicles and scraping up Michael's car.
There's no storm, no wind, no rain, which is puzzling.
Michael believes the recent rain added weight to the branch, as this same thing happened a few years ago after a storm.
Big branch came down and took, same results.
Earlier today, a similar incident caused Monument Avenue to close. A 10-foot limb fell on a motorcyclist who was then pinned under an SUV. He was rushed to the hospital. As for Michael's neighborhood, tonight they have a warning for every tree owner.
They need to make sure that the branches really don't reach out too far.
The owners of these cars tell me that their insurance should cover the damage. As for the tree, its owner plans to have it removed. Reporting in Richmond, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Afternoon. Thanks, John. Tonight, Richmonders and Virginians are getting ready for the big digital TV conversion, which happens later on today. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton shows us what you need to be ready.
In less than 12 hours, the big switch to digital TV happens here on TV8 and other channels across the country. And if you have an analog set and haven't picked up your conversion box yet, your TV is going to look something like this.
Tomorrow, public pools in Richmond will open for the summer, but do they meet federal safety laws? 8 News reporter Nate Eaton is live in Richmond with the answer. Nate?
Well, Carrie, the city of Richmond tells me that Blackwell Pool right here and all of its other pools are up to date with federal regulations. You may remember that over the past few months, there's been a lot of talk about new laws that the government is requiring all pools to have. They are requiring all pools to install dome entrapment grates on top of drains. The problem was in the past the grates were flat, so anybody who sat down on top of the grate may have a problem getting up, being sucked in there. Well, after a few accidents and even some fatalities, the federal government is now requiring all public pools to have these dome grates. Richmond says all of its pools are ready to go and ready to open tomorrow. So here at Blackwell tonight, they're putting the finishing touches on and getting ready for the opening. Remember, if you're a kid and you're going to be coming out, John Benier would say wear your sunscreen, and you might want to grab a pair of goggles to probably see under the water. If I only had a swimming suit, I could jump in for you, Juan and Carrie. Back to you.
Actually, it's to me, and Nate, you need to get in there now and half a mile before you come back.
Tonight, a Richmond man who was hit by a huge tree limb on Monument Avenue is out of the hospital. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton spoke to him in an 8 News exclusive.
It was the tree limb that used to be here that came crashing down on Curtis Duncan a week ago. He was on his motorcycle on the way to work, and when the limb fell, he was thrown 30 feet in the air. Eventually, he came to a rest here underneath an SUV. Tonight, he says he's grateful to be alive. That's a sound Curtis Duncan will never forget. It's the last thing he heard before waking up trapped under an SUV on Monument Avenue.
I vaguely remember kind of me and the bike separating, but I don't remember getting hit or anything like that. There was a parked SUV sitting right here, and my head got pinned underneath the back axle.
His helmet shows how bad it was.
I rubbed across this side of my face, and that would have been my face against the asphalt.
Curtis blacked out, then woke up to emergency crews trying to get to him. Eventually, he was rushed to the hospital.
Concussion to the head. I do have a fracture in my C5. That's why I'm wearing the collar. Sprained my wrist, got some road rash.
Curtis is back home now, spending time with his wife and 3-month-old daughter. They're grateful he survived what he's calling a freak accident.
It could have been a lot worse, and I'm glad that things didn't end worse.
In Richmond, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
A local memorial is underway right now in honor of pop superstar Michael Jackson. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton is there live. Nate, what's the scene like out there?
Discussed for Friday. Back here in Richmond, hundreds of local fans turn out for a vigil to remember the pop icon. Nate Eaton reports.
A big crowd out here to celebrate the life of Michael Jackson. People from all over the Richmond area showed up tonight to pay tribute to the King of Pop.
He was one of the greatest of all time.
He's a performer loved by many.
I loved his moves.
And tonight, Richmonders paid their respects to Michael Jackson through word, song, a memorial candle, and of course, dance.
Ever since I was a kid, I just looked up to the Jackson's family, what they meant for America, especially what they meant for Black America.
Tonight's vigil, sponsored by Citizens Against Crime, brought out many who have special memories of Jackson.
I was raised on Michael Jackson. He was like the first voice I can remember hearing.
Mike was basically like a brother to me. We grew up together. I'm also 50 years old.
I love Michael, and he deserves this.
Marianne Stevens saw the star perform 13 times in person.
The most I've spent on a ticket was $500 for 7th row and $1,100 for 1st row.
For Stevens and others, tonight's vigil is a way to remember the man who they say will never be forgotten.
I love him, and I think that we should remember the good and the wonders that he did.
In Richmond, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Here at home, it may be time to take better care of what you leave in the yard or in a shed. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton talks to Richmond police about the things that thieves are looking for.
It's a warning that goes out every summer. Thieves targeting sheds just like this one and taking whatever they can get their hands on. Often they'll check to see if the doors are unlocked. If they can't get in that way, they'll break a window and climb inside.
Thousands of bird watchers are getting ready for a big festival tomorrow night in Shockoe Bottom. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton gives us the bird's eye view.
Normally around this time of year, thousands of purple martins roost in these trees along 17th Street every night. This year, though, there's been a dramatic decrease in the number of birds coming here. But that doesn't mean you need to worry about tomorrow's Purple Martin Festival. And by leaving their items behind, hoping others will pick them up.
My whole philosophy is to move it in, move it out. So it cannot be priced to sit on the shelf forever.
Consignment store shoppers say one of the nice things about shopping here is that things are constantly changing. If you're looking for a particular item today and it's not here, you can come back tomorrow or in a few days, and chances are it will eventually show up, and you can get a pretty good price on it.
How often do
we have human remains? They were found this afternoon near the Falling Creek Apartments. That's in the 2500 block of Marina Drive. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton has the details.
It was around 12:45 when maintenance staff found the human remains back here in this wooded area. You can see on the ground that investigators have marked a few spots. Now, people living here in the Falling Creek Apartments say they were shocked to come home and find cops swarming the area.
He said they found a dead body. I said, what?
Milton Howe couldn't believe it when his neighbor told him human remains had been discovered just feet from his apartment.
I said, wait a minute. I said, you got to be joking.
At first, he was worried his 22-year-old daughter may have been killed.
Hoping nothing happened to her.
Fortunately, she's okay, but Hal is still concerned. He's one of dozens of people who live at the complex. Today, many of them watched as investigators scoured the area for over 5 hours, looking for clues behind the dumped remains.
I was just kind of concerned about, whether a male or female or whatever.
That question is unanswered tonight. So is how the remains got there, who left them, and how long they've been here. Hal will wait for those answers, hoping nothing like this ever happens again in his neighborhood. In Chesterfield County, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Just in, President Obama is said to be preparing his eulogy for Senator Ted Kennedy. Welcome to 8 News at 11. Let's go to Nate Eaton. Nate?
Well, this afternoon, Hopewell police were led on a chase through the streets, through a bunch of neighborhoods, and it eventually came to an end in Hopewell. 49-year-old Steven Setzer was chased as it started off as a routine traffic stop. Let me show you where that chase started. It was on I-295 near Hopewell. The driver then went to Chester and exited at Route 10. He proceeded down different streets, as I said, across lawns, even through an elementary school playground. That entire thing came to an end in the city of Hopewell.
In that they did the right thing.
Here's how the sting worked. A teenager would enter a business with an undercover cop and walk over and get alcohol like this. Then they'd try to buy the booze, and that's where the business would either pass or fail.
Thank you, Jason. A Carytown business owner traps a man in her car after she catches him trying to steal from her. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton has this story you'll see only on 8.
When April Davis left work Monday afternoon,
I was coming out of my shop straight to my car.
She was startled to see a man inside her car.
I get to this point, then I saw a child, somebody.
April quickly realized he was trying to steal a DVD player.
I can lie to you, I was very scared.
So she jumped into action.
I pushed this, which was making a lot of noise. I started screaming and screaming, please, somebody help me.
The man, surprised, immediately tried to get out. He unlocked the doors, but
he unclicked it and I clicked it. And we done tick-tock the whole time. Really, it was determined. I am not going to let this man get out of my car.
After more than 5 minutes of the doors being unlocked then locked, the suspect tried to get out through the sunroof. When that wouldn't work, he stuck his hand through the back window that he originally broke out, opened the door outside, then took off running.
I wish I kept him locked long enough for the police or for somebody to find him.
The suspect did end up getting away with the DVD player, but it won't work without the power cables he left inside the car.
The DVD player is not worse. All he went through with me.
April considers herself brave for what she did and is glad she stood up for herself.
Would you do it again that way?
Probably I will. I don't know if I recommend somebody to do it, but myself, I know I will.
In Carytown, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
68, and we're talking about the state fair also. Nate had that nice tie. What was that thing? I don't even know what you call that
bolo.
Thing. I liked
bolo
it.
Tie.
A bolo tie?
Mm-hmm. He was
all right.
dressed
Do you
to
think
impress.
that it would look good with my suit if I wore a bolo tie?
We'll look for it at 5:30 maybe.
Okay. We'll get it going.
Or get you out to the state fair, then we'll decide.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Coming up next here on 8 News at 5.
8 News at 5:30 starts now.
Thanks for being with us. The State Fair kicks off tomorrow, and the Midway and annual Black Tie and Boots event, it's tonight.
8 News reporter Nate Eaton is there in a very sporty bolo tie live at Meadow Event Park. What's going on, Nate?
Juan, I wore it just for you. You know, you'll never know what you find as you walk through the fair. Right here, I stumbled upon Gingerbread, beautiful cow from King William County. We're here with Gingerbread's owner, Lisa. Tell me a little bit about your cow.
Gingerbread's 3 years old. She's a Jersey. She weighs 800 pounds.
Wow, and she looks like she's full of milk tonight. Why is she here?
She's here to raffle off 20 chances for the Agriculture Scholarship Fund for the Black Tie and Boots.
Okay, why did you decide to enter your cow into the scholarship fund?
Glenn Martin wanted to help raise some extra money, and he came up with the idea to bring Gingerbread.
Okay, so tonight, 20 lucky people are going to milk the cow. Actually, maybe 21. Can I give it a shot right now?
Go ahead.
All right, I've milked a cow maybe once in my life. We're going to bend down. Can you hold that mic? Right here. Oh yeah, she's definitely full of milk. 3-year-old cow. Alrighty, there you go. I got a little bit in the cup. You said it's about 120 degrees, the milk, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I'll drink it, but I'll definitely save it for Juan and Christina when I bring it back to the station. But as Juan and Christina mentioned earlier, there's a big event tonight. Bow ties, what are we calling it? Black tie and boots, that's what it's called. Goes on at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll have a live report right at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live at the State Fair, I'm Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Oh, thank you, Nate. We are fans here at the studio of Pasteurization, which has not been performed yet. Of course, there's going to be security in place.
Again, good fair weather out there. Of course, our 8 News reporter Nate Eaton was live there last night. He's there again tonight. Nate, please tell me you're not milking that cow again.
I'm not milking the cow. Unfortunately, the cow's been put away, Paul, but we are here at the best time of the day to be at the fair, dinner time, because you can see all sorts of different food stalls. You can walk stall to stall to stall and get filled up with everything you need for dinner. I am by one of my favorites right now, hot Wisconsin cheese. They're here all the way from Wisconsin. Right here we have the owners of the business. Tell me exactly why you guys are here and what you do.
We're here for the great new fair. I mean, the grounds are amazing looking, obviously. It's our first year here. Just wanted to get our name out here, kind of. Yeah, I mean, even right here we have the jalapeno cheese. That's actually custom made for the company here.
So there's jalapenos inside of that cheese?
Yeah, there's jalapenos and plus actually mixing jalapeno juice in it as well. So,
wow. How spicy is it?
It's got a good kick to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely does. Plus, we got the jalapeno ranch, which actually makes it a little bit more intensified. So.
Wow, and you guys also have cheddar nuggets and some other products too, right?
Cheddar nuggets. I mean, what it is basically cheddar cheese, and everything's battered and fried. And we got the mozzarella as well, and the super combo is that all three combination of all three of them.
All right, I'm gonna try one of these. What one do you have for me to try?
Got the mozzarella right there.
The mozzarella cheddar stick. All right.
Yeah.
Not bad. Anything fried tastes good. That one's real good, actually. The jalapeno one I might try off the air because I don't like spicy stuff. But we're going to have another live report coming up at 6 o'clock after I finish this right now. Reporting live at the fair, I'm Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Those spicy ones look good, too.
All right, time now to go back out live to the State Fair of Virginia, which kicked off to the public today. We're going back now to 8 News reporter Nate. Don't care for spicy cheese. Eaton.
Yeah, but I do love lemonade, and I'm here with my friend Cassandra with Fun Time Foods. What are you doing here at the fair this year?
Well, fresh squeezed lemonade.
Okay, let's make one. Let's do it. Cause I don't know if you can see through here. What's the process? How do we do this?
Okay, first of all, we have a bucket of syrup right here, which
Okay.
is what we use. We don't have massive sugar at the end of this lemonade.
Okay,
so we
you
grab
fill
the
up the
cup,
cup.
we make half
of it. All
of
right.
the line right here.
Good.
Then we come over here.
We'll move our cord out of the way.
Okay.
Now, can I squeeze the lemon?
Yeah.
You put it right here, right?
Just put the lemon right there and then just squeeze. There you go.
How's that? Is there more juice in there, or is that enough?
No, that's enough. That's enough.
I want to get all I can out of there.
So
All right.
You grab it.
Okay.
You take it out. Put the lemon in.
Excellent.
And then you come all the way over here.
Alrighty.
We're gonna put some ice in here.
That's good. You've been pretty busy this year?
Well, it's only the first day, so yeah.
Okay, a lot of people want lemonade, I'm sure. Today was pretty warm.
Yeah, today was really
And then you
hot.
fill it up with water.
There. And then we put a cup on top.
Okay.
And then we shake.
Shake it. There you go. And it's just like a homemade lemonade. Can I give it a try?
Yes.
That tastes real good. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, Morgan Dean was out here earlier today. He tried elephant ears. Take a look at what happened when he tried to give it a hand cooking one.